Alright guys, welcome back to the hangar. So it's been a little while since I've done a build video on the Bandit Models Diamond Back. Had some family come in town, so wasn't able to work last weekend, and unfortunately it's going to be a short weekend this weekend because I have to go to a wedding tomorrow. But came back out here tonight. I was going to just chill out because I was kind of tired from working today, but decided to go ahead and do one little thing, which there's not much left on it. It's very quick build. There's not any really modding I got to do to this one because it's such a nice kit. And so far it's been pretty straightforward and easygoing, but there's been some changes to some things, what I'm going to do with it as far as equipment, so I'll go over that here in a second. But tonight I'm going to glue the fittings in on the tank, which I'll get to. But before that, let me show you. So bam. Alright, so I was going to do the 166 and it would fly it, I'm sure. But I felt, because of the weight of the model, that it wouldn't be as fun for me. You know, depending on your flying style, you know, the motor is, you know, personal choice. That being said, if you look, the 166 is actually just a tad taller and exactly the same diameter. So it almost looks a little shorter or smaller, but they're pretty much the same size. This one might be just a hair, a millimeter or two bigger. But this one's taller, and this is a 166 newtons and 195 newtons. So this was, I think, going to be the best bang for the buck. It's because originally I thought it was a 160 to a 180 size model, but I was told, or when I looked it up, it's actually a 160 to a 200. So I think the 195 is going to be perfect. It's probably going to be more than I need, but this one is same weight as the 166, pretty much the same fuel burn as the 166, and I was able to get one. Didn't like paying $300 in custom or basically tariff tax for it, but yeah, we won't go there, you know, duh, tariff, it's a tax on us, but whatever. So I got the 195, and that's what I'm going to use. And I think it'll be awesome. The tank, which is what I'm about to work on, let me get this thing slung on my head here, was told 5 liters. I haven't checked it yet, but 5 liters with that motor is like over 7 minutes at full throttle. So this is supposedly the 5 liters. And the top is 1 liter. I'm not even going to fool with the top. And if I do, it will be just a basically, I will just cut holes in this top part and let it go into the main tank and just plug this. Because I don't run smoke. So, and to add another clunk and stuff in here would just be extra weight. I have already gone ahead and I kind of had to open this. You got to do a little custom fitting for the ring here, and then once that's done, I go back with some thin CA and I run through this just to kind of, you know, keep this from spidering, even though you won't have that problem, but just to kind of harden the area, because you get a lot of fraying, you know, like just the material of the Kevlar when you sand it. So this kind of makes it easier, like this up here. You can kind of see it where it's, you know, loose fibers. Well, when you put the CA on it, it makes it sandable and clean up really nice, and you can get a good seal. And then I've also kind of scuffed around to allow for the glue, kind of got the gloss off. And then I also drilled a hole at the top here for the vent, and this is a change as well. I'll sit down here, sorry guys. So the fitting that comes with it, nothing wrong with this fitting. This is T1s, but I run 8 mil on vents, and this is the T1, it's small. This is one that I had from something else. So I'm going to put this on. It's on the highest part of the tank. The tank's off a little bit. So I put it on the highest side so I don't rob myself of any kind of fuel. And it just screws in and it's nice and tight. So, but that's where I'm at with this. So let me mix up some epoxy. I use the 95-75 for tanks. It's clear, but it's just seems to hold better. I say it does, but who knows? They're all pretty close, and for what we're doing, there's way more. Stuff's stronger, way stronger than it needs to be. Let me get something to steer it, or mix it up here. Where's my mix stick? Ah, here we go. So, yeah, I swear, going back to working in an office, a little bit of time that you would save going to work, to and from work, it is a lot. I seem to get way less done now. Plus, I just don't feel like it. You know, something about going and sitting in a damn cubicle all day just sucks it out of you. So, plus I like this because it's less. It doesn't seem as gritty as the other stuff. All right, so, and it's nothing crazy. What we're doing here, get a little inside, and then I'll obviously, just to give it something to bite to. Ooh, hello. Yeah, it's a busy couple of weeks, man. Seems like a lot of stuff back to back. Actually, I should get some alcohol here and clean that with Kentucky Jets, and then life things getting in the way, and then relatives coming into town. I feel like I haven't had any time to do anything. Chill out. Ooh, I got a piece of fiberglass stuck in my finger. I can feel it poking. All right. I'm just kind of putting a lucrative amount on it, and I'll go back, and once it's pushed in, it'll obviously squish out everywhere, and I'll clean it up at that point. Just trying to get a good bead all the way around it. And of course, you don't want to get it inside because it actually does have threads. All right. So let me go back, make sure I clean that out. Yeah, there we go. And this is a pretty tight fit. There we go. Oh, there it is. And like I said, this is just a different fitting. Clean this up with some alcohol. You could probably even use the 5-minute stuff on this that the BVM makes, but you know, this gives you some working time, and this is all I'm really going to do tonight. I'm going to do this and get it installed, and then I'll go call it a night. Get a good night's sleep, man. I swear, the older I'm getting, it seems like if I don't sleep an excessive amount, I'm just exhausted. I don't know. Just getting old. Yeah. There we go. And this just threads in here. Oop. Well, heck, I'm gonna actually have to hit that with this. I think when I put the CA in there, it made it expand a little bit because it was does not seem to be screwing in. Vent's not as critical as there it goes, as the other side, because you know all this is going to do if it leaks on the vent side is suck air, which is holy crap. All right, something's not right here. I must let me open that up even more. Yeah, you don't want to make it too tight because it'll fracture all that stuff. There we go. Yeah, I think I just didn't have it threaded right. And there we go. All right, and then I'll set this up, push it down, and then I'll usually just take it and I'll take it and I'll twist it, and that kind of gets a nice even bead all the way around it. And then of course I'll go back and kind of make sure it's over the lip, because that's kind of what you want to kind of help hold it. But I'm going to be held up to finish. I'll be done with most of this by Sunday, even having tomorrow off, because after this all I have to do is run wires and do install. But and of course the turbine and pipe, but I can't do that yet because I don't have it. I'm still waiting on the pipe to come in, and just for some reason they forgot to put it in the box. So until that gets here, I'm kind of, after a point, I'll be dead in the water. Clean up the excess here. Get another piece of napkin. Yeah, I know the designer of these models, that the owner of Bandit Models, he's got some scale stuff that's in the works too, so be interesting to see down the road, I think, as long as he sticks with it, makes enough money with these, because he started with the sports just to kind of, you know, because they're obviously easier to produce and get that going, and then kind of come back and do some scale stuff, which I think he's more of a scale guy like myself. But it's nice to have a sport jet. Like I didn't have any. Last one I had was a micro, like a 45 size, and I just wasn't happy with it because it just wasn't that good of a sport jet, in my opinion, for what I was wanting. So it's always nice to have one, because scale models, even no matter how good they are, they can still be just trying to get it all in over that lip. No matter how good a scale jet is, it seems like they almost like real jets. You get maintenance intense sometimes, and it's always nice to have something you can just always count on. Alright, so that is all done, and that's pretty much it, guys. I know this is kind of a boring thing, but then again, some people like to just watch you do things, which is cool. That's kind of what I like. That's why I do this. But let's see here. Where's my? I must not have one out. So let's see if this will work. This might work. Yeah, there we go. Actually, this is defeating the purpose here, so let me go back and put that. There we go. better just use your hand. Use your finger. All right, so nice, and just do a quick little. There we go. All right, so that is that. Make sure I get excess here. And then I will go back and assemble the clunk and stuff tomorrow. They don't provide the fuel line that goes in your clunk, but I use BVM tank tubing, and it seems to have been a good product all these years. So there you guys go. Hopefully y'all could see all that. I didn't get my phone out, which is shame on me, but I'll review the video just in case. Yeah, there you go. All right, everybody. You guys have a good night. Like I said, sport jets, there's not a lot to it to like the scale ones to do, but excuse me, what am I doing here? What am I looking for? Oh yeah, I was gonna show you guys the motor in here. So and it's still, I was hoping this one actually was a little wider, because I would have loved to not had to have made extensions. So I could probably make it work, but it would be so close to the edge that it might just break it out. So what I'm gonna do is maybe just glue on, no, I'll have to make an extension. I'll draw it out and kind of draw it on the things, and if I can get a good enough hole that's maybe a couple millimeters off the edge so it doesn't break out, I may go for it that way, and I can always glue on a piece of ply on the bottom to kind of give it some extra meat. But it's a nice size, fits in there really well. I like how the inlets take the air right back to the motor. Yeah, so all right, so that's enough. I'm gonna shut up here, and the next thing I'll do is I'll have to glue this on. So this glues on the front of the tank right here in this area. And I did notice that this, because they cut the hole, where they cut the hole, you'll have to kind of take the Dremel and kind of clear out some of the material right here, because it sits like this. And then this glues on, and you just run some, I'll probably look and see if I find some blind nuts if they're not in the model already, and use a blind nut method, or could just use screws, because the tank really doesn't need to come out. But that'll be next. This is pretty light. Yeah, it's light, not too bad. So, and then of course the other piece back there, I don't know if that glues to the tank or not. I might do that, like put the tank in, get that glued on, and get this secured on, and then if it touches, if it sits like that, where it's a good fit, I might glue it, put it in, put the bolts in, and then run some glue in there. That way, when you take the two screws out, the tank comes out, and that kind of stays to it, and that kind of helps secure it so it doesn't move around, So we'll see once I trial fit it. Yeah, because that's probably what I'll do. I'll probably end up gluing this to the tank. So, and this can be a smoke tank, but if you wanted to, you could even use it for like a UAT. Have the tank, have it draw fuel from, so your vent, no, how does that work? So pump, this would attach to the clunk line, and you would have to put a fill port here, which would be no big deal. You could take another one of these extra pieces, drill a little hole, and run a fill line, and then use this for like a UAT or a smoke tank, or plug it, maybe make some holes in there for it to come down into this tank, or you could just, I hate to add all this extra hardware just to have it have a pickup in there to go in from this tank down to this one. So if that was the case, you'd put the vent up here and then run the pickup to the vent of this one, and then this would come out, the pickup would go to your pump. So, but that's enough for this video. Let's see what we're looking at here. Tap the screw. Ooh, shit, 15 minutes. Okay, that's a lot of nothing. So you guys have a good one. Get a little close up there. Just make sure you don't get any high sol in there and you get a good seal. And I'll obviously test this, clean it out with some, first I'll put water in it, let it sit, see if it leaks, and then I'll clean all that out, or pour that out and put some alcohol in there, squash it around, make sure I get all the material out, because you don't want to pick up something in your pump, even though you have a filter or anything. So, but you guys have a good one, and don't forget to subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down, and tell a friend. And I'm also getting these put on the actual Bandit Models Facebook pages, so if you see it there, you know, or just on my page alone. So you guys have a good one. Take it easy. Cheers.